Hi everyone, this is Robert Lee. I'm here to explain to you all how I built my Storm Chase Tour game. Um, it was pretty easy to code out, not gonna lie. I honestly used the island adventure example from chapter 5 in the book kind of as a guide to help me build this program. Basically, here's how it works. It works very similar. I just gotta make it to home before I run out of food. I made it to home, so I won the game. Um, Here's an example when I hit the tornado. Oh, I've been hit by a tornado. I'm killed. I can't do anything. Game is ended. Um, and then there's these gas stations I can hit where I can gain food, but it costs me money, so I've got $8 left. Got $6 left, but I got a ton of food, so kind of made the money thing easy. Hey, I'm home alive. But and I also gain experience. So whenever you hit a gas station, you gain experience, and then that's pretty much how the game goes. How I built it, here it is. I built this cascading styled sheet embedded in the HTML format. There's the font that I use to create Thundercover. I set the stage, I set the cell, and then for H and P, for the heading and the paragraphs in the HTML, I set the font there too. Then down here, I set the stage and output in the variable, and then I added a keyboard listener so the program knows the function when I hit a key on the keyboard. Now, down here, so the program knows, that the up, down, left, right keys are the input keys. I had to create a switch statement under the key down handler function. And there's that there. That gets the up, down, left, right keys to work. Here's the field, gas, hail, car, tornado, game object variables that go into the map. And then here's the cell size. And then here's the number of cells and rows of columns. Had to create car row, car column, tour row, tour column, so I could form this into an algorithm that can allow these game objects to move. And then here's the for loop to pretty much build the map. Here's the arrow keys, up, down, left, right for the car. With the car, I also have food, money, I can gain experience, and then there's a game message that pretty much tells me get home safely. And then I called the rendered function up here. The rendered function's way at the bottom of the code. I did that last because it was kind of a difficult thing to kind of figure out at first. It was part of the debugging process that took a while. And then, like I said earlier, the key down handler function to let the program know that the up, down, and left, right arrow keys are the input keys. Here's the switch map. This is, I call this a switch map because this is a switch to determine when I hit certain objects on the map, determines the outcome of the game. If I hit a gas station, I get food, I lose a little bit of money, but I get experience. I hit hail, I think right now it just loses experience. I don't really have it set to do anything, but you hit hail. Every storm chaser hits hail, and usually almost nothing really happens except for a couple dents. And those don't even really are worried about to get fixed unless it's real major damage. And then there's a case for a gas station. When I hit a gas station, I get food and experience and lose a little bit of money. And then the case for home, I won the game. The game ends. Here's a call function for moving the tornado. I had to define that down here. Like I said for the car, I had to do the same thing, up, down, left, right for variables for a tornado. This is just so the tornado could move randomly up, down, left, and right. I had to create a valid directions array to store the valid direction that the tornado is allowed to move in. So this just keeps the tornado inside the map. The final direction that the tornado will move in, it's undefined. So basically, the tornado just keeps moving randomly. And then here's an if statement that makes it all work. It's just randomness. It allows the tornado to move, push up, push down, push left, or push right, depending on certain conditions are met. Here's an if statement for the valid direction. I think this just does the math to get the tornado to move. Honestly, while typing this out, I couldn't quite figure out what it was meant for, but I'm pretty sure it's what gets the tornado to move freely without, depending on certain cases inside the program. And then here's the fill up function that I called earlier. I had to make that so, well, basically, I can get food at the gas stop. It'll cost me money and I gain experience. And then there's a message that tells me what happens. And there's an else. If I don't have enough money, I still gain a little bit of experience, but I just don't have enough money to buy food. When I get caught in hail, I have to escape. It's going to cost money, I believe. That's what that's there. And that's where I couldn't figure out how to get that work, and I guess I still have to figure this out. And then, yeah, the car has been breached by burglars. When I typed this out, I mean, I said money got stolen. I guess in a hailstorm, yeah, and you're stranded, a burglar could go up and rob you, so that's the concept there. And then there's a game message that, there's what happened. Yeah, I tried to escape, but I lost. It cost me some money. But when I do escape, I gain experience, 2 experience, and I win certain money. Pretty much that's where it's at. Oh, and then there's the in-game function. I had to make an if statement to compare certain parameters that if certain ones weren't met, I lost the game. I made it home alive. There's my final score. Else, well, I've been hit by a tornado. The game has ended. I'm out of money. I'm out of food. And the team has left me. There's certain parameters that can be met to where that could lose me the game. That's what this in-game function does there. And then the render function. This here just pretty much gets all the images from the source file displayed onto the map. And so I call this the display function. I don't know why they call it render, but I guess render is kind of a synonym for display or make. Yeah, this pretty much gets all the images out of the directories onto the map. That's what makes it happen and puts it in each cell. And there you have it. That's pretty much how I got it done. Like I said, I just use this as an example. I mean, you're going to notice it's kind of similar to the Island Adventure code. There's just different wordings because, like I said, I went in and actually typed it out and just put everything in its own term, but everything mechanically is set up pretty similar. It's just something. I like storms, I like weather, I like storm chasing. I figure I might as well make a storm chasing game. And I was actually going to do this game in the form of, I'm trying to think of that mapping game, that adventure mapping game where I had to go around on a trail, and it kind of sounded like Dungeons and Dragons. I was going to do something with that with storm chasing, but I just felt like this was a little bit more interactive. I didn't want to make something that you had to constantly type something in to get the game to move. So there you have it.